Welcome, Esther.
Thank you.
Great to have you here. So, Esther is one of the instructors who came to our retreat in Ibiza and took immediate action. Like, following the retreat, she didn't stop, she didn't dilly dally, she went full power and created some amazing results. So, we're going to talk about your journey so far, Esther, and really excited to um, do this interview with you. So, can you, like, first just give me a little bit of an introduction of yourself and tell me who you are, where you're from, and what
Yes,
what you're doing like right now?
would love to, Niraj. So my name is Esther Willinger. I'm from Toronto, Canada. I became a SOMA Breath instructor just over a year ago when I came to Ibiza last January in 2023. Um, and ever since, yeah, I've
I know your sound's gone. Your sound's gone. Esther, your sound's gone.
sorry.
Your sound went.
Oh, should I
I think,
start again?
yeah, you're gonna have to start again.
Wondering if my connection is like not great in this specific spot. Okay, we'll try
Sounds like
again.
it's your mic. Sounded like your mic.
Oh yeah? No, my
Yeah.
mic is part of my computer. Should I put my earpieces in, you think?
I mean, this is perfect. Do you think
Okay.
it's gonna happen again?
I hope not. If it does, we'll just record again that whatever spots and I guess you guys
Yeah, we'll
edit it.
edit it. Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
edit it.
okay. All
Okay, go
right.
on then. Carry on.
All right. Um, my name is Esther Willinger. I'm from Toronto, Canada. I became a certified SOMA breath instructor just over a year ago in January of 2023 when I did the instructor retreat in Ibiza. Since then, I would say I've been just taking massive action and allowing myself to be uncomfortable and just be in a state of creating sessions, creating workshops, and putting all the skills that I've been learning into practice. And it has really accelerated my coaching program as well as my breathwork instruction workshops and retreats and everything that I've been doing with this.
Amazing. So what did you do before Sound Breath? Like, what was your life like then?
So I had a digital advertising agency for over 20 years.
Hmm.
And that was pretty much my business. That was all I knew. I had no idea what I could do or would do outside of that. As a result of the COVID pandemic, my business got immediately hit with clients shutting down immediately, clients pulling accounts, employees worried about their jobs. And at that time, it gave me a lot of pause to reflect and wonder, is this really what I want to keep doing for the next 20 years? I was already sort of feeling unsatisfied with running this business, but I had no idea what else I would do. And so COVID really gave me that time to pause and reflect. And I just realized I wasn't so happy, in that business after so many years, and I was looking for something else. So I didn't know right away what I would be doing, but I made that bold decision to start scaling back the business, learning new things, discovering simply like new ways to be, everything from mindset, from health. And so I just embarked on a journey of personal growth and um, and just simply rediscovering my authentic self, I would say. In that journey, I came across Mind Valley, took a lot of Mind Valley courses. Eventually, that led me to discovering becoming a coach, which I felt was very natural for me. And at the same time, within about 2 years from starting that journey, I applied to A-Fest, which I got accepted to. And I went to Jordan, and that's actually where I did my first SOMA Breath session with you, Niraj, which was next level transformational. Out of that whole experience in Jordan on A-Fest, I mean, I had an incredible time, but that one session was what left me, that one session, and then you had a couple of other experiences there. Those ones left me on like the biggest high. And I would say I had some discoveries that I really didn't know what to do with at the time. I remember coming to you and asking you what they meant, and your words to me were, they mean something, just hold on to them. Here's my contact information, stay in touch. And just following SOMA Breath, I learned about the instructor program in Ibiza a few months later. And I really felt like it was calling to me. I did some research in Toronto. At the time, I couldn't find any other instructors in Toronto. And I just thought, oh, if there's nobody here, maybe I have to bring this to Toronto. So that's what I felt like was just really calling to me. And I went on the program. I would say that like in the whole group, I remember being very nervous about actually instructing at the time. When we were doing our practice sessions, I was like the last one who wanted to go and actually do my practice in front of everybody. I was so nervous. And I finally, you know, with enough encouragement, did that practice session. And I just decided there that I was like, listen, if I'm gonna do this, I have to go all out, and I just have to allow myself to be uncomfortable and know that give myself permission to be perfectly imperfect, because you're never going to be perfect enough unless you take action and learn and practice and know that just through practice you'll get better. So I came home and I just started figuring out, what's the next little thing I have to do? What's the next little thing I have to do? How am I going to start implementing this? How am I going to start getting better at it? How am I going to get this to people and see the results that can be achieved? And so it was just a journey of like one step after another. And then just back to my original session with you. Now that I've been doing, not only like experiencing SOMA breath for myself as well as teaching it, I can see that like all these little messages or insights or clarity that I've gotten during from my initial session till now, all are pieces of a puzzle that are coming together. And you're right, like every session is meaningful, and it's really just about gaining that clarity and following the path that's meant to unfold for you.
Wow. What a cool journey you've gone through. And yeah, I remember very well, you know, you were a little bit nervous about doing sessions and asking lots of questions. But
Yes.
you were one of the ones who really took action afterwards. So, but had you ever done breathwork before?
So I have actually not done breath work in the same way that Soma Breath teaches it. I have been doing yoga for many years. In fact, I became a yoga instructor like over 18 years ago. And I had this vision back then, before I had any kids, to have some yoga studio and bring that into the world. But I ended up having kids and got sidetracked, and then my business, you know, consumed me, and I never followed that path. And so the kind of breath work I had done was really through yoga. And yeah, but I've never done like exclusively breath work in the way that Soma Breath really focuses on it. The only other small experience that I had with breath work during my initial days in Mind Valley was one Wim Hof virtual experience that you know, that I tried. And I remember when I did that one experience, I remember like feeling like this high from the breath work, from the breathing, feeling so energized that day, like I was coming out of my skin. And then I did a little bit of my own kind of Wim Hof breathing for a while after that. And then that kind of fell off after a little bit, but that was really the breath work that I did before Soma Breath. Soma Breath has been something I've been able to sustain more consistently.
What do you think is the difference then?
So when I did the Wim Hof experience, it was really, it was just, there was no, in fact, one of the questions that came up was like, how do we breathe? Do we breathe through the nose, through the mouth? And he just said, just breathe. However you want to breathe, just breathe, you just got to breathe and just follow and doing, this. And I think it was a lot of like rapid breathing at that, for that particular time. I'm sure he has all these different styles, but for that one, it was just like, particular style in and out, whatever. And just really, pushing it, which felt really good. But after a while, it's like, it loses its depth and its, sense of like, just, I would say that Soma Breath has like maybe what you call like a pharmacy of breath work. In addition to that, there's the whole other aspect that's the combination with music, which really creates a different feel and takes you to a different place every time. It helps enhance the experience with like the breathing, the rhythmic breathing, and the different rhythmic breathing patterns, the different breath holds that are possible. That that is definitely a big difference. I love that we do body activation, and there's all this music to help you energize and get into a different state and get you into really high vibe, elevated place before you start your experience. I find that a lot of fun, and a lot of people who do my sessions actually love the body activation before the breathwork session itself. So that's a big part of it as well. Yeah, I find it way more accessible for people and way more enjoyable. When people hear about breathwork at first, they don't feel like it's going to be fun, and then they're surprised at how much fun it is and how much they enjoy it.
I call it breath play, but if you look up breath play on Google, it's something X-rated.
Okay. You're gonna have to come up with another name for it then.
Yeah, because it's not really work. It's more like
Yeah.
play.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, you told us like, your journey, how you discovered Soma Breath and all that, but how was your experience when you did the training, like, and the retreat and then the
I loved it. First of all, I love going to retreats where you can just completely disconnect from your day-to-day life and get immersed in a space where you can really focus. You're also with like-minded people. You really get to share, and you really get to be completely yourself, where nobody's judging you and nothing's pulling you away. So you can really immerse yourself and really dive in, learn, ask questions, get immediate answers, practice yourself, get the experience, share all of these things, right? And then when I say practice, I mean do the practice and do the Soma Breath, as well as practice, giving the session and getting that immediate feedback with people that, are going to give you honest feedback, but also compassionate feedback, and and not judge you as well, right? So all of those factors really play into like why I loved it so much. Again, it's just the collective experience, being away, being more focused, getting like I got so much clarity there. Also, things that came to me that have become part of my journey, like my visions that I have from back then are still things that are playing out today. So just everything. I highly recommend people take the journey of the retreat as part of the instructor's program.
Brilliant. And what about the online course?
Yeah, the online course is really important for all the details that you get, taking the time to go at your own pace, taking more time for it to settle in, always going back to some details that you want to be able to, let's say, share in your own sessions. So yeah, the online is really valuable, I think, very necessary, and a good long-term tool to have and to reference. Yeah,
Right.
it's really, really helpful.
Awesome. Amazing. All right. Well, so tell us like what your life is like now as an instructor and transformational coach. Like what are the things you're getting up to on a
Yeah.
day-to-day
But
basis?
I'll actually tell this, I think, is really important because a lot of people get stuck on how do I start and what do I do, and and will people come, and my first step, was I need to get practice. So first of all, I started with my own family, and I started doing sessions with my parents, with my siblings, nieces, nephews, whoever would attend free session, and people who I was able to, I got honest feedback, and if it wasn't perfect, it was okay. It's just, the family. Then from there, I decided I wanted to give free sessions within the community, to people who I knew would sort of be interested, and also get my practice like that. So in Toronto, there's a Mind Valley chapter, and I offered, a free meetup, and I gave a free session to the Mind Valley group. That was my first session to complete strangers that I didn't know. And on that same day, I also booked another session at my community center that's in front of my house. And I also invited people for that one. I charged a small fee. Was for money raised for the center itself. So that was giving an opportunity to give, to feel like people will pay for it, but I didn't have to feel like I'm taking the money for myself. So just in case, it's raising money, whatever. So those were two sessions. I went out in one day and I said, I'm just going to get out there and do it. And it was like the feedback that I got was so incredible that really inspired me and motivated me that this is something I can really do. I remember some of the feedback from that first day. I'll never forget. One woman said she had so much anxiety for so many years, and she goes, that was the first day in a long time that she actually didn't feel anxious after the session. So that was like amazing. After that first session in the community center that I had, one of the women that came, who had no idea what she was coming for, she was just there to support me. After the session, she was like, the next week I offered another session. She came back and she's like, would you do this for a group of teachers? And I said, sure. She goes, I just happened to be looking for breath work for our group of teachers in our school. Um, and now that I've done your session, I'd actually like to invite you to be the one. And it was something that was fully paid for. In fact, there was a government grant available for this kind of experience. So just by offering it to the community with no expectations,
Mm.
I got my first actual job, booked, my first few sessions. So these teachers booked me for 4 sessions that were paid. And after the first session that I did for them, they had already booked me for another 4 sessions to take them to the end of the year. So that was like my first paid experience. And just again, from putting it out there in the community, just for my own experience, with no expectations. And it gave me my first paid breathwork sessions from there.
So cool.
Yeah.
Love
So
that.
that was that. And then I from there just kept pushing myself and saying, okay, now I'm going to do a breath work. I'm going to do a workshop. I created a 3-day workshop that was a combination of coaching and breath work. And that worked out really great. I got, my first experience at doing a workshop. And then I from there met another coach that I was collaborating with, and we got together and did like a 1 full day workshop. She was an intuition coach and she loved the breath work that I was doing, and we combined to do a full day intuitive workshop experience where she did intuition coaching and I did the breath work, and the results were just I've gotten video footage of testimonials from there. I've have Google testimonials, LinkedIn testimonials for people who have attended my sessions. And like, yeah, it's been incredible.
Amazing. Wow. So are you doing like regular sessions and classes now?
So I actually, starting off this year, it's funny how every time I do certain sessions, it leads up, like it opens up gateways for new experiences. So in December, I did a Hanukkah harmony experience that I created this, you know, for one of our holidays. And from that session, one of the ladies from there said, would you do this would you create a women's group, for, in the new year? And I was like, sure, if you're initiating it. And together we created a workshop called Empowered Women. And we created a 7-series thing where we've been doing it every Thursday evening for a
Wow.
group of women, stepping into their empowerment for the
Amazing.
year ahead, planning their year, making shifts, so that's been something that, has been going on weekly. I have 2 more sessions for that. And then I'm just sort of saying, like, we'll see where the next one leads us. But yeah, I have sort of things that have just been created or manifested just by being in action.
That's brilliant. The divine flow, that's what I call it. That's what you're in.
Yes.
I
Yes.
love it. Cool. So, would you say you've made your investment back?
Yes. I definitely have made my investment back. Um, I'm on a path where I have really big visions. I feel like
Yes.
I'm only in the beginning foundations of, sort of building up my own experience, building up my reputation, um, making it accessible to people in my area. But really, my vision is to take this like in a big way, uh, in Toronto, but eventually like worldwide. So
Yes.
I'm really just in my building phase.
Cool. Amazing. So, how long did it take you to kind of make your investment back, roughly?
I would say, I mean, possibly about half a year by the
That's
time I made it back. Yeah.
that's cool. Good. That's great. And tell us about your big dream. Why don't we put it out there?
No, my dream is to we'll start off with one breathwork studio. Um, I call it like a healing sanctuary where we would have breathwork experiences in a studio environment as well as like a sauna cold plunge experience. Um, and and sort of build the prototype, but I want to make it something that's scalable where we grow locations and then, have this center kind of all over the world and just make it more accessible for people to have in-person breathwork experiences where they can meet like-minded people, um, and also feel the collective energy in person when you're doing breath work. I think it does elevate the experience for yourself, but as well as just like in your locations, in your areas, like finding people who, really resonate with this type of healing, of energizing and uplifting, and just having that ripple effect of high vibes, peace and connection.
Amazing, amazing. And what's the kind of things that your clients are kind of coming to you for help with? You already talked about a lady with anxiety and things like that.
Yeah.
Any other kind of
I think it's a combination of things. I think some people are just looking for inner peace. I think they're looking for a change in their life, a shift. Some are looking for some kind of healing. It could be, physical, emotional, spiritual. But I think we're living in a time and in a world where people are just so busy being busy and they have no time to really connect with their true self, their authentic self. They feel lost because they are not giving themselves time to reconnect and realign. And I feel like the breath work is a space where they can do that in a really enjoyable way, and especially when they can do that and discover that there are others like them and they're not alone. I think that helps them feel like they belong, and it empowers them to feel like they can be their unique self. They don't have to be like what society expects of them,
Yeah.
but they are here for their own unique mission, and it's okay to be themselves.
You
And I
got it.
think that they love discovering that and feel safe, that they have a space to go through that journey.
So in Toronto, is there like a lot of people, you know, who are looking out for this stuff? It's a big demand.
So I mean, being in the space now, I am discovering that there is more and more of it. When I was, first of all, I didn't even know to look for this before I did SOMA Breath all the way in Jordan. I had to travel across the world to even figure out that there's something like this. Since I got back, at first I was doing a lot of research and I could not find anybody that was doing breath work. I couldn't find any SOMA Breath instructors. But since I've been in the space, I am starting to discover more breath work types of programs available. And I am starting to get inquiries from people who are hearing about breath work, but really don't know where to go or what to do. And so it is becoming,
The trend.
I would say, I would say it's pre-mainstream, but it's going to be mainstream very, very soon. Like, if not already, possibly in some other areas, it might be, I say we're at pre-tipping point.
Yes, I love it. And that's the best place to start, right? That's the best place to
Absolutely.
come into anything. Uh,
Absolutely.
so anyone who's looking to become a instructor, do our course or training, or just breathwork instructor in general, what would you give them advice wise?
First of all, obviously try it. um, um, yes, if you can't make it to retreat, definitely, sign up to the program and follow it. But if you can make it to a retreat, I highly recommend it, just because it will help you accelerate. For me, I don't know that I would have been able to accelerate this quickly had I not gone on the retreat. So yes, if you have the ability to attend a retreat, attend one. Um, and then my advice, as soon as you're done, listen to the online programs to immerse yourself in the information, and gain some level of confidence with with the knowledge and information. But the biggest piece of advice is take action, and it's okay to feel like you're perfectly imperfect, and it's okay to make mistakes. Just do. Just don't be afraid to do, even if you have to start small with your family, friends, community sessions. It's all about the little steps that lead to the big end results.
Amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
And, Esther's done some really cool stuff in the community, some really powerful sessions, you know, that I've seen like in person, and it's really good. It's really exciting to see your growth, and I hope you continue to do it. And, uh, we're watching the space very closely where Esther puts together the first center in Toronto. So
Yes, yes. Yeah, and
yes.
with that, I just want to say, like, I really appreciate the support that I get from Soma Breath and from you particularly, Niraj, but the whole community, and also the events that you put out, the free, weekly sessions that are available to the, worldwide, or even the instructor programs that you have, and that you meet with the instructors, you know, whether it's once a month or a few times a month, and you give the space to ask questions. I can see that you really care and that you want people to succeed, and that you want everybody to contribute their own unique style. Like, I think you're doing an amazing job, And I think that, I'm really grateful that I chose Soma Breath to be the path that I bring Breath World into the world in Toronto.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Beautiful. That's a great
Yes.
way to leave it, I think. Amazing. Thank you so much. All
Thank
right.
you.